The F-16 Fighting Falcon is the far most widely used Western fighter class in the world, with more than 4,500 being built since the 1970s and over 2 dozen air forces operating or have operated them in the near past. Although the US Air Force ceased orders in 2005 and several countries have begun to draw down their fleet sizes as the Falcon increasingly become obsolete. In contrast to its status today, the F-16 was a much sought after asset during the 1980s and 1990s, in the particular when its capabilities were considered state of the art despite it having designed as a lighter and cheaper counterpart to the heavyweight F-15 Eagle with an emphasis on low operational costs and maintenance needs. At the time, one of the most controversial F-16 sales would see the Falcons deployed in the Chinese territory, with the Republic of China Air Force having sought to acquire the aircraft since 1980s, and the gaining permissions to acquire 140 airframes to the following decade to form two larger fighter units. The circumstances under which the sales were made related closely to the status and the international recognition of the Chinese state and the nature of Chinese civil war, which at that time had been technically ongoing for over half a century. The conclusion of Chinese civil war on the Chinese mainland in 1949 saw the People's Republic of China declared in Beijing in October that year, while the losing side, led by Kuomintang party, the Republic of China had withdrawn to outlying islands. These were said to be overtaken and brought under the People's Republic of China in 1950, and it was the only intervention of the US Navy in June 1950 to place the remnants of Republic of China under American protection, which prevented a final end to the Civil War, with the Republic of China basing their new capital in Taipei until their plans to recapture the mainland could be seen through. The resulting emergence of two Chinese governments on opposite sides of Taiwan Strait saw the People's Republic of China armed by the Soviet Union and the Republic of China by the United States to fight multiple battles throughout the 1950s, with CIA and the US Air Force aircraft participating heavily on the side of the Taipei-based government. The Sino-Soviet split in the early 1960s, however, cut the People's Republic of China access to the modern fighter aircraft and air defense systems, which ensured a distinct advantage of the Republic of China, which was often a priority client for the American aircraft and weapons such as U-2 spy planes, F-101 fighter, and AIM-9 air-to-air missile. US arms sale to Republic of China declined considerably from the late 1970s as Washington recognized the People's Republic of China based in Beijing as the sole government of all China, including outlying islands such as Taiwan where the Republic of China was based. The US would deny the Republic of China access to a number of new weapons classes to maintain good relations with Beijing, but supported efforts to develop an indigenous Republic of China fighter class, the FCK Chinko, which had fourth-generation capabilities comparable to the American F-20 Tiger Shark. The end of the Cold War in 1989 and reduction in the importance of ties to Beijing as the counterweight to the Soviet Union opened new opportunities for the United States to supply arms to the Republic of China. Taipei perceived need for such assets grew in 1990s as the People's Republic of China negotiated the acquisition of new fourth-generation fighters from the Soviet Union, namely Su-27 flankers, which would be far the most capable in the region when first delivered in 1991. At the time of Republic of China, F-5EF third-generation fighters had been seen to provide a considerable advantage over the People's Republic of China aging fleet, but the Su-25's deployment across the Taiwan Strait led Washington to assent to the sales of F-16s. The Republic of China's ability to modernize its fleet was still limited, however, with only lower-end F-16A B Block 20 variants delivered. It did not gain access to the heavier fighters from the same weight class as Su-27, namely the F-15 or F-14, meaning while the F-16 brought to its technologically near peer level, the small and the light aircraft was still significantly outmatched. Arms sales to the Republic of China government based on Taiwan have been highly controversial, as while Tapai has continued to claim to be the sole representative of the entire Chinese nation, including Mongolia, which is considered a part of China. It has no recognition as the United Nations is not recognized by the overwhelming majority of UN member states, including the United States. Arms sales to the Republic of China have been widely equated with sales to a non-state actor. The F-16 will continue to fly for the Republic of China Air Force for decades to come, as the legacy of the still technically ongoing Chinese Civil War, with Tapai having ordered a further 66 F-16s in 2019 under a $8.2 billion contract. This represented the first order for the new Republic of China fighters in over 20 years. The newly ordered F-16s Block 70-72 variants will be supplemented by a program to modernize existing Republic of China Air Force F-16 Block 20s to a similar avionics standard under the F-16V program. Although a significant upgrade over the F-16 Block 20, a 1970s warplane. The new Falcons are still far short of the 5th generation F-35s the Republic of China Air Force initially sought to acquire, and are far from the match for the People's Republic of China own new fighters such as 5th generation G-20. A propensity of the Republic of China pilots to defect to the People's Republic of China has been one reason why more capable jets than the F-16 have not been supplied. Had the US Navy not been deployed in 1950 to preserve a remnant of Republic of China's power on the Taiwan, the F-16, F-5 and F-104 and many other American fighter classes would never have been in service in Chinese hands, as the Chinese nation would have been unified under the Beijing-based People's Republic of China that year. Opportunities for sales of F-16 and the F-16 presence at the airfields in China is thus a direct result of Chinese civil war's ongoing nature. Whether the Republic of China will receive any further fighter classes will depend on both the state of Sino-US relations and on how long the division of China between two rival governments will continue.